I wanted to talk about this for a second. One of the reasons why I'm such a stickler for the use of language and the correct use of language, and you'll note my grammar police rant of a few months ago, is because language is very important in communication. That's stating the obvious. It's very important to understand the words that are being used to communicate ingredients on a package, to understand statements by manufacturing companies, to understand statements by beer companies, statements by pharmaceutical companies. And I was watching Trial Site News and came across this. That's a statement by AstraZeneca, the vaccine manufacturer. And it's in response, according to Trial Site News, in response to a lawsuit that is being filed in the UK on behalf of individuals who have experienced adverse reactions as a result of the AstraZeneca vaccine. And according to Trial Site News, this is a statement that was issued. Patient safety is our highest priority, and regulatory authorities have clear and stringent standards to ensure the safe use of all medicines. What's important about that statement is to understand from the very beginning that they're making sure you understand that regulatory authorities have clear and stringent standards to ensure the safe use of all medicines, including vaccines. So they're making sure that they include other people in the culpable and responsible parties. They're making sure you understand that it's regulatory agencies who have the clear and stringent standards. So, in the case of any lawsuit, they're spreading the blame around from the very beginning, including vaccines. Our sympathy goes out to anyone who has reported health problems. Very great. That's a good thing to say. It's nice that they have sympathy, but that's not going to pay anyone's bills who's been adversely affected. So just word salad, but in terms of public perception, this is something that needs to be said. So part two, AstraZeneca and regulatory authorities, there's that spreading of the blame again, carefully record and assess all reports of potential adverse events associated with use of Vaxzevria. So again, we don't know who's responsible for recording what percentage, how much of recording does AstraZeneca do, how much recording do the regulatory agencies do, but we know that somewhere behind the scenes, these adverse reactions are being recorded, but no one is taking particular responsibility for how much is actually being recorded. From the body of evidence in clinical trials and real-world data, Vaxzevria has continuously been shown to have an acceptable safety profile, and regulators around the world consistently state that the benefits, and we'll get to the next sentence. Basically, they're going to say that the benefits outweigh the risks. But again, what they're saying here is good to know, but it doesn't address the issue. It's stating that the body of evidence, real world data, continuously been shown to have an acceptable safety profile. Now, what does that mean exactly? That means that they have what's considered an acceptable profile. So, for example, this is just an example. I don't know this to be the case exactly, but let's say that their research shows that they can expect one adverse reaction per 1,000 inoculations. They can expect one death per 10,000. Somewhere in the upper echelons of that company, of any company, they'll decide, is that acceptable? Is that an acceptable safety profile? Can we deal with the fallout, the possible lawsuits, and the pushback, public pushback of one death per 10,000? Yes, that's acceptable. So that has an acceptable safety profile. So that doesn't mean anything, and to the families of the individuals who have been affected, that's just stating that the company, have decided that that's an acceptable safety profile, and therefore we're moving forward. So you have to be careful that you don't get lost in the word salad there, because having an acceptable safety profile means nothing to you and me if we are adversely affected. And then the final statement says, around the world consistently state that the benefits of vaccination outweigh the risks of extremely rare potential side effects. Great. Another good thing to know. But again, that's not the issue. The issue is not whether it has a safety profile. The issue is not how many countries it's being used in. The issue is not whether the risks outweigh the benefits. All of those could be true. And if they are true, that's great, but that doesn't address the issue. And the issue is, what will be your policy moving forward for those individuals who have not experienced the positive sides and the benefits, who have experienced adverse reactions. So it's very important to stay on topic, very important not to get distracted by shiny objects, not to be distracted by the sleight of hand or the sleight of tongue and the sleight of words. So just something I wanted to point out. You have to be careful when you're reading statements, because these statements go through legal departments. These statements are analyzed to make sure that there are no words in there, no sentences that might admit anything or that might leave them open to lawsuits. So the words are very carefully chosen, and you as a consumer therefore have to make sure that you understand the words and that you're not distracted by the sometimes blatant obfuscation and bamboozling and hoodwinking that goes on when these statements are issued. So I'll be doing some more like this when it comes to understanding the ingredients in products and other statements by manufacturers and government agencies, but just something I thought I'd share because it's pretty interesting to understand so you don't get lost in the word salad. See you in the next video.